Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Colleen Holder.
And I'm Davia Chambers.
And today we're doing things just a bit differently. We've tweaked the format of the show just for this week to introduce you to Davia, who is your new host. Davia is no stranger to the Let's Talk Tobago family, but starting next week, she'll be moving into the presenter role, taking over the reins from me.
Now, Colleen is leaving us to begin a new journey, but we're not going to say our goodbyes just yet. Not before we tell you about our serene location and our stories this week.
Well, today we're at Native Abode Bed and Breakfast in Bon Accord. This place seeks to provide relaxation, rest and rejuvenation. It's a family-owned business and it prides itself on providing guests with a home away from home feel coupled with the ambience of a traditional hotel. We'll tell you just how they managed to do this right after Davia tells you what's happening in our stories this week.
Education activist Malala Yousafzai visits Tobago. She says she's impressed with the island. Steps are being taken to create a more productive labor force, and the lights are on how lit playfields and recreational grounds are changing our communities. Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're at Native Abode Bed and Breakfast, a family-owned business here in Bon Accord. It's just about 5 minutes away from the airport and about a 10-minute drive to one of the main shopping centers, the Gulf City Mall at Lowlands. This bed and breakfast offers a pickup service. Here they treat their guests to a complimentary local breakfast, which always includes, wait for this, freshly baked breads and bakes, fresh fruits and juices, and all the fruits are picked from the fruit trees located on this 1-acre property.
Now, the homely atmosphere that Native Abode offers is exactly what one of the world's most high-profile education campaigners alluded to when she visited Tobago. Malala Yousafzai has been nominated twice for the Nobel Peace Prize and has been named one of Time magazine's most influential people, and she's only 17. But this came at a high price. You see, in certain countries like Pakistan, religious extremists don't want girls and women to be educated. But coming from a home where her father runs his own school, education has always been a priority for Malala. She stood up for this, speaking out against the Taliban, who had made it clear that girls and schools are not on their agenda. For this, she was shot but survived and now travels around the world fighting for the right to education for girls. Malala visited Tobago and this is her story.
Her very presence here in the conference room of the Office of the Chief Secretary can be considered something of a miracle, given what happened 2 years ago. As an advocate for the right of education for all girls and young women, Malala spoke out for this in spite of threats by members of the Taliban in Pakistan. Then the unfortunate happened. The Taliban shot her in her head, leaving her in critical condition. But she survived, and now at age 17, she continues to stand up for this right around the world and inspire young women, even in Trinidad and Tobago.
It's such a warm welcome and I'm very happy that I'm here in Tobago. The trip to Trinidad was very good. It was a very warm welcome, but here it's amazing and it's a very small island and I really love it.
Malala says she's inspired by Trinidad and Tobago specifically because of this.
And here you have made it like the top priority that every child must get free and quality education, and not just at the primary level but at the higher secondary and even at the university level they get support. So thank you so much for doing such a great work.
And while some might have given up after such a traumatic experience, Malala remains steadfast and determined to ensure that girls and women are not held back from getting an education.
The thing that really strengthened me was the support of people. Wherever I go, whenever I meet people, they love me, they support me, and they say that we are with you in this campaign of education. And I have received like thousands of cards and letters from people. So this is the love of people and the support of people that is strengthening me to continue the campaign for education.
Malala's trip to Tobago and Trinidad was courtesy the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training in celebration of the University of Trinidad and Tobago's 10th anniversary. And even as Malala continues her global campaign, Tobago has set itself the task of becoming a more productive island. In 2013, out of a total of 148 economies, this country ranked 89th on the Global Competitive Index. Tobago has taken note of this poor showing and is doing its part to ensure its workforce is highly efficient and productive. Kisan Braffett has the details.
In almost every workplace, you can find the cell phone user, the sleeper, Madame Picture Perfect, among others. These persons negatively affect productivity levels as time is being wasted doing other things besides work. But for the Division of Settlements and Labor, this must stop. That's why they're empowering Tobagonians with the knowledge about what's required for a more productive Tobago through this labor forum entitled Supporting a Productive Workforce.
We believe that one of our responsibilities is keeping the populace of Tobago informed about issues, relevant issues as it pertains to employment, workforce development, and anything that affects it. Productivity, of course, has been touted about as one of the key issues affecting Tobago's development.
Some of the factors affecting productivity include the degree of utilization of technology, competence and skill level of workers, infrastructure, institutional policies, culture, and the work ethic of the labor force. If productivity levels increase, so would GDP and economic development on the island. It's critical that employers create the right environment for work and employees fulfill their part of the agreement to be efficient and productive workers.
I would have heard of like business persons in Trinidad who are willing to, who are desirous of coming to Tobago to open businesses that would offer opportunities to Tobago, like, cheaper goods and services, employment. However, they are deterred from doing that because of their lack of confidence in the work ethics in Tobago.
We are very low on the productivity scale, Trinidad and Tobago on the whole. If we here in Tobago could increase our productivity levels, maybe it can impact on Trinidad instead of Trinidad impacting on us.
Other issues discussed were workplace wellness and productivity and NIS benefits and entitlements. I'm Kisan Brathwaite for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now, most of our workforce have an 8-to-4 job, and for those who want to lead healthy lives, some can only exercise in the afternoons. Others who are part of sports clubs and groups also have practice sessions that often run into the evening period. But no one wants to jog on a dark field, and many have had to abandon play when the sun sets. But this is no longer a worry for Tobagonians. Per capita, this island has the most lit playing fields and hard courts in the Caribbean.
Whether you use it for recreational purposes, exercising, or for sports, we all utilize these spaces around Tobago, be it the hard courts or recreational grounds. But now, the public can play games or exercise long after the sun sets, since 16 playing fields and 19 hard courts are lit.
That has come about because of a recognition of the importance of extending the usability of these grounds. So that has been going on for quite a while. We started off with the hard courts because, of course, it's a smaller area, and that was a lot more doable than the play fields. The first play field that we had gotten lighted would have been Shaw Park.
These recreational grounds run from Charlottesville to Crown Point, and even though every single community doesn't have a playing field, each village is in close proximity to one.
What we try to do is to establish lighting levels which are not just the barest minimum. We try to establish lighting levels which, if in the future you want to upgrade the field, then the lighting level will also be commensurate with the new level.
Most of these lit spaces are used by residents, but from where Mr. Trim sits, he would like to see more communities take advantage of the option and opportunities that are available through use of an open space. Lighting these hardcourts cost just about $800,000, but it's worth every dollar because it translates into safer and user-friendly venues. Next on the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports agenda, lighting call and grounds. We're taking a break, but do stay with us. On the other side, the Signal Hill Alumni Choir gives Geneva a taste of Tobago.
Well, the Tobago law should be dealt with personally.
We have resources here that we can use.
They need to consider all the concerns of Tobagonians and make sure that is embedded in the act.
It's a serious thing.
Full autonomy for Tobago.
When they put the both islands together, 1899, they said the island of Tobago with its boundaries and its sovereignty.
Autonomy in the sense that we must be able to control our true sea space.
Everybody had to be involved.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. Thanks for staying with us here at Native Abode in Bon Accord. The owners pride themselves on the decor, which creates a warm and soothing atmosphere. Guests coming here have the choice of the honeymoon suite or the comfort of single or double room occupancy.
But Native Abode is just one part of this island's tourism package. Tobago is also home to the famous Bucca Reef, which attracts thousands of visitors each year. But this reef and others around the island are fragile. They're being threatened by human activity, including the simple act of anchoring boats on the reef. That's why steps are being taken to protect these ecosystems. As you'll hear in this report, mooring buoys are being installed at 3 sites in Tobago.
Store Bay, Mount Irvin, and the Bucca Reef have been selected for the installation of mooring buoys by the Division of Agriculture, Marine Resources and the Environment. The move is necessary because during the summer holidays, where there's increased tourist activity and a lot more visits to the reefs, there's increased risk to the corals in these areas from local and visiting boats. In the case of the Bucca Reef, the problem is not so much the visiting boats, but rather the reef boats.
What they normally do, they look for an area of sand and they throw the anchor. A lot of the time they miss and they drop on the coral and damage the coral.
This is something that the division is fighting against. Reefs play an important role as natural breakwaters, which minimize the impact of waves and protect the coastline. They're also a powerful attraction for tourism and economic development on the island.
Tourism and fishing is two of the most important things in Tobago, right? And the more reef you have, the more fish you have, the more you have to come to see the corals.
In this light, the division is hoping that both the local and visiting boats will utilize the mooring buoys. Mr. Sampson says that signs will be placed at the various sites so that persons will know the purpose of the buoys and will follow the instructions about the proper use of the buoys.
Yeah, Mount Irvin, we're doing 10 moorings, that costing $50,197. Storby, 20 moorings we're doing, that costing $70,000, and Bucca, doing another 10 and that costing $30,000.
The installation is expected to be completed within 6 to 8 weeks from the start of the project. I'm Kissan Brathwaite for Let's Talk Tobago.
This event celebrates the United Nations birthday, the signing of the UN Charter We the Peoples in June 1945. It's a festival of music which reinforces friendship. It started in 2012, creating an environment that allowed new thinking about the role of culture and the arts within the UN system. So what are we talking about? Time to find out.
The Rhythms of One World 2014 International Chorale Festival. Melodious harmonies, soulful renditions, and theatrical performances from choirs that came from all over the world to participate in group and individual concerts under the production of Friendship Ambassadors Foundation.
For choral, what I call choral tourism, music tourism on the whole, I think this is an important niche because it captures a large number of people. And because what we're doing is kind of unique, we tend to stand out pretty much in those fora, and I think we did. I mean, the appreciation and the respect and the love for what we did was amazing. Actually, there were 4 persons who were with us who came from Italy in 2012 who actually made the trip across just to see us.
That's right. Trinidad and Tobago was represented by the Signal Hill Alumni Choir. They gave a taste of the Caribbean vibe in concert, a mix of Tobago folk, Latin classics, gospel and chorale soca.
In terms of some of the songs, which was a 4-part harmony arrangement of differentology, which went down pretty good. We did do one of the popular Farrell songs, Get Lucky. We did prepare those in particular for this program. We have also done Masquerada, which is a Latin classic. Sway, which is another classic out of the Latin repertoire.
Performances and exposure like this build the reputation of the choir, help with name recognition for a small island like Tobago, and also develop the skills of individual members.
I think 1, in terms of building our own knowledge base, 2, networking with some of the right people, seeing some of the other styles.
The International Chorale Festival is one that unites voices from across the globe. Signal Hill Alumni Choir's trip to Switzerland was partly sponsored by the Tobago House of Assembly as they continue to promote the development of cultural groups around the island. Tobago's football teams have been competing in the National Super League for many years now, but they've been doing so all on their own. This year though, Bethel United, 1976 FC Phoenix, Gold City and Stokely Vale got some much needed support to represent this island. Details from Kisan Braffett.
They shoot, they score. It's a win already for the 4 Tobago teams competing in the 2014 National Super League. They're being given assistance by the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport to cover the cost of competing in the league. The division is aware that the National Super League is the highest level of football under the auspices of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association, and that this presents an opportunity for Tobagonian footballers to be seen and recognized.
What is noticeable about the Assembly's input and the division's input in particular is the recognition that the assistance to teams should not start only at the competitive phase in terms of registration and so on, but should in fact start at the preparation phase where they have to train and prepare.
The 4 teams, Bethel United, 1976 FC Phoenix, Gold City and Stokely Vale, received over $5,000 worth of equipment and an additional $15,000 each to cover operational expenses. But that's not all. Their cost of registration, some $185,000, will also be taken care of. The assistant manager of the Stokely Vale football team says he's pleased.
Our other funds which we have available, we can use that in other areas in terms of youth development and so forth. So we are pretty much happy for this assistance and look forward to it in the upcoming years again.
The manager of Bethel United says last year the team had no sponsorship apart from some assistance from the division. He's happy that this has changed.
It will be very difficult for us to kind of get the funding to enter the league. So we are very grateful that Mr. Cadet came to our rescue.
The 2014 National Super League is scheduled to take place over the period July 2014 to February 2015. I'm Kisan Brathwaite for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to take another break, but stay with us for highlights from the Tobago Heritage Festival.
During the month of August, the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, TEMA, will be updating the Special Needs Registry. This registry lists geographical locations and data of individuals throughout the island of Tobago who are diagnosed with disabilities and may require special assistance in times of emergency or disaster. TEMA is therefore asking the public's assistance and cooperation by providing accurate information when a TEMA official visits your area.
For more information, please contact TEMA at 660-7489 or visit the Emergency Operations Center at Fairfield Complex, Bacalet Street, Tobago.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're at Native Abode in Bonaccord. Here you can find the ever-popular noni fruit, plums, mangoes, pomeracks and pomsite. It's right from this garden the owners of this bed and breakfast pick the fruits, herbs and vegetables to ensure that their guests are treated to healthy and well-prepared meals.
But let's leave it here for now to journey to the Tobago Heritage Festival that's in full swing. And this week we continue our coverage of some of the traditions and practices of our ancestors. But first, let's join the street parade at Charlottesville.
I'm glad you finally seen the point. It hardly have real men like me again. Most of them sore. They need help.
But I tell Kathleen butter black. Some of them only have mouth. And most of them can't even function except they see Dr. Alice. See Alice.
Jenny, is who you're talking about?
Well, real men must stand for.
And that is exactly what some can't do.
Jenny, is who you're talking about?
Call name, I go whistle.
From Pembroke and Charlottesville, let's take a look at another production of the Heritage Festival. This one focuses on the Sea Festival.
The people of Black Rock welcomed the rising sun and the ancestors with rum, water, milk and rice to preside over the day's activities. Then music, dancing and rhythms from instruments made from local trees and the skins of animals filled the streets of Black Rock before heading to the shore. Villagers at Black Rock took pride in showing their heritage as fishing nets were woven and saints strolled the ocean floor, bringing gifts to the land. And a pirogue was blessed before being sent out to sea, all before a day of sea sports. The day ended with a stage production where traditions of a fishing community were highlighted.
This capture today is a blessing. God has blessed us. We're not doing it for a long time. Call all the villagers. Let them come. As a form of thanksgiving and for your successful return, Michael, we're going to give a calabash of jacks free.
And then traditions were passed from one generation to the next.
As a fisherman, never wash your hand with soap before you go a bathe. You're going to wash away all your luck.
Oh, okay, Grandpa.
Number 2, no hand size before you go a bathe. A bad luck.
What?
Yes, a bad luck. Some fishermen, you see they get bush, wrap up with the right lime, and they either some part in the boat. that have to prevent bad luck.
Here's to a day well spent with the people of Black Rock, who know just how to celebrate the sea. I am Lois Vincent for Let's Talk Tobago.
Staying with the Tobago Heritage Festival a while longer, let's share with you the customs and way of life of this island that have been revealed through an art exhibition.
Our foreparents did more than pass on traditions like music, folk dancing, or singing. They also transferred art. Art is inherent to African societies, and back then, they used the medium as identification marks or to even pass on messages.
Our foreparents was born in art. If you study African history, you know most of the representations, most of the things you see now, most of the artifacts and the archaeology unearthed carvings, and carvings with a story.
Carvings by our ancestors were done almost anywhere.
Art and calabash is something that is known all over the world and that people also look forward to. But art and symbols was used either for worship, and for the people who are Christians, you know the cross is a worship symbol for Christians. But there are many other worship symbols that, of course, is a work of art.
That knowledge has been passed on as evident in the work of Tobagonian artists. Their work depicts many traditions of our island during the Tobago Heritage Festival. The artwork will be on display at the Gulf City Mall and paintings can be ordered.
And it's time to have your say, the segment of our program where we hear from you, our viewers. The efficiency of the Trinidad to Tobago Air Bridge has always been a contentious issue. Few are happy with the operations, and all the flaws of the system are generally magnified when there are long weekends and during the vacation period. The Chief Secretary believes that the solution lies in the delinking of the air bridge from Caribbean Airlines. So today we're asking, how do you feel about a separate airline to service this route? This is what you said.
There are times when, particularly at the busy peak period, the vacation period and so, when you have the long weekends, we need additional service.
Well, that's a good idea. It will ease up some of the stress on the air bridge. A separate airway to service Tobago would definitely be welcomed once it gives better service.
Well, basically, I think if you're having complications, like for transport, I don't see the problem.
We bring competition and we're going to bring reliability and predictability.
And that's how we bring this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago to a close. Remember, you can send us your comments or queries on anything you've seen in this program to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Colleen Holder saying goodbye.
And I'm Davia Chambers. And on behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, we wish Colleen all the best in her new role. Do remember to join me next week for another edition of our program. Until then, here's another look at the Tobago Heritage Festival.
Up here, Bushy Dragon and Judy. Up here, I say, to meet me, the creator war, right here.
With us here to discuss this topic, we have three renowned Tobagonians. First, Miss Imelda Cruikshank, Mr. J.D. Elder. We have Mr. Arthur Napoleon Raymond Robinson.